Hey fans, on this episode of Wall Street, the New Hustle, we're going to talk about some of the pitfalls out there with Wall Street, some of the scams that I've been seeing going out there now in the streets. So we're going to talk about in a little bit some of that in the introductory of this new channel. So this is going to be this episode of Wall Street, the New Hustle. Well, welcome back. Like I said, this is a new channel. I actually started 3 days ago. But I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers and a lot of channels that are trying to get people into investing and getting Wall Street. So I figured, well, what's the name of my channel would be? So I figured it'd be Wall Street, the New Hustle. And you look at it at two ends. Wall Street being a new hustle where so you can make money. You don't have to be out on the street. You know, especially with our urban community, our young urban community, because, like I said, I grew up in the inner city, and the first thing you learn is how to sell drugs. That's the first thing. Every kid here, we're in the Baltimore area, so every kid in Baltimore City know how to sell drugs. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and it's been like that since the beginning of time. But they don't know anything about Wall Street, so I figure, you know, why not introduce them to Wall Street? It's the same game. Buy low, sell high, just like a drug dealer. He gets his drugs at a certain cost from a supplier. He sells it out on the street. He makes a market. He makes money. Same thing as Wall Street. So if you can relay that concept to the kids in the inner city schools, they can realize, you know what? I don't have to sell drugs. I can go work at McDonald's, make that, I guess is like $8 or $10 an hour, whatever it is now. When I started, it was like $4.25. But I can make that money, invest in Wall Street, and still earn money. I'm not going to be as wealthy as a drug dealer would be, but I'm going to steadily grow and grow and grow where I don't have to be out in the streets. I don't have to go to jail. I don't have to have a criminal record. And then I can position myself to go to school and get a good job. And one thing I hate about these channels that people think they're going to make you overnight millionaire, and they have 10 means of income sources where they have these pictures on a YouTube channel that, okay, I have 10 ways to turn $1,000 into $10,000 in a week. That's bullcrap. If they were doing it, why are you telling me? It's just like the street game. If I have information, knowledge with something, I'm not giving it to you. I don't want you to get the upper hand. But it seems like with these channels, they'll tell you, okay, I got 10 ways for you to turn $1,000 to $10,000. But I want to share it with you because I love you. The hustle is you. You are the hustle. Because the more people, the more subscribers they get to the channel, the more they get to monetize it. When they monetize it, they make money off of you. So you are their hustle. So a lot of these people don't have no clue about Wall Street whatsoever. They just read a couple of books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and they feel, okay, this would be a great topic to be on YouTube because I can get a lot of subscribers and make money that way. I just read a little bit here and there, and then basically copy what somebody else did and just put a little twist on it and then upload a video, and then I got all these subscribers. That's how they make money. You are the hustle. So that's why I look at it on two ways. You are the new hustle, and you can teach the street kid or from the inner city youth, you don't have to sell drugs. You can use Wall Street and stay off the streets. And so that's why I kind of created this. Like, it's been 4 days since I created it. Hopefully it actually turned into something, whatever. But I decided to create because I'm coming from a perspective of a person has a real job. I'm a firefighter, paramedic. So that's my real job. I'm an ex-Marine. So I still work in that. I've been into Wall Street technically I've been trading since 1998, but I fell in love in 1987. I was 12 years old at the time. And it was Black Monday when the stock market crashed in 1987. That's when I fell in love. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew somebody was making money. And I knew somebody was losing it. Back in those days, they used paper. Now it's electronic now, but back in those days, they used paper. And I remember all the paper flying around. And like I said, 1987, that was my grandmother's dining room. Watched this on TV. And I said, well, geez, I want to figure out how this worked. So, you know, that's my background. But a lot of these people, they create these channels that don't really work, they claim that they made all this money and now all they do for a living is trade. And they have all this time to make all these YouTube videos. If you're making all this money trading and things like that, how do you have time to make a bunch of YouTube videos all the time? If you have inside information, why you want to share it with me? Why don't you just keep it to yourself? I don't get it. But then it seemed like it falls back on, oh, I have this proven system that works for me. Now I want to share it with you. But of course, it's going to cost you $400, $500, $600 to attend my class and all this other stuff, whatever. I'm like, if you're making all this money, why you need to have classes? Why you need to share your information with me if you're so rich, whatever? You know, Wall Street, people understand, Wall Street is just another tool to create wealth. Wall Street is not going to make you rich overnight. Now, there's some people that are very lucky, but normally those people have millions of dollars invested, or they inherit it, and then they millions make thousands, billions make millions. That's just the way the game is. But Wall Street is just a viable option to gain wealth over time. Like you look at Amazon. Amazon today is $3,100. It was $3,500 last week. But in 1997, this when I was in the Marine Corps, and we had computers, but they were just spreadsheets. There was no internet. We didn't have any cell phones back in the day, so limited information. But had I had information, I could have bought Amazon when it was like 97 cents or $1.97 back in 1997, and held it over time and been a millionaire just off of that alone. Had I bought 100 shares, but none of us had that information. So you can see the comparison. You would have bought in 97. Over time, you would have become a millionaire. So when you had your job, by the time you retire from your job, you can use that $3 million or whatever it would be at the time to supplement your lifestyle. So I want people to understand you're not going to be no multi-millionaire overnight by investing in some type of penny stock, because that doesn't happen too often. Most of the time what happens is you'll buy penny stock and you'll make a few dollars here and there, and then over time you start losing because that share price goes down. Then you start to panic and you sell, and next thing you know, you keep selling, you're buying and selling, buying and selling at a loss, and then you just cut your ties and go to something else unless that company goes bankrupt. So that's why I want to do a little introductory of me. I still have my job, I still work, I retire pretty soon, but Wall Street was a supplement to what I make. I'm still making money on Wall Street while I was actually keeping my job. So I don't want people to, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and this is all I'm gonna do and make a living off of it. It doesn't work like that. Most of the people that's telling you that on these channels are people that probably don't have real jobs. They just do this because you are the hustle. They have to keep you entertained, have to keep you coming back to get subscribers to monetize their channels, whatever. Or if they do have programs, it's okay, you got to pay us an X amount of dollars to sit at this table, and they just telling you common sense things that you can read in a book, what they probably already did. So that's why I do, kind of just frustrating me. Like I said, I just started this 4 days ago, trying to get a logo and trying to get all this stuff done. It's kind of crazy seeing all the things I've seen. And today I was driving, I saw a sign said 10 revenue sources. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm like, you got time to put up signs all over town to say this if you're really generating all this money? So people have to be aware of this. You create wealth over time. Just the same thing as Warren Buffett. You create money over time. Not no quick rich scheme. Not no 20 ways to create revenue sources and all this other stuff, because I could do that too and read a book or look other people's channel and figure out what they said and just repeat what they said, just change it around a little bit, and then now you think I came up with something new, and it just doesn't work like that. So what I decided to do, we're gonna do short videos. We're not gonna do no 2-hour videos or no 30-minute videos, because you guys don't have that time. I don't have the time to do that. Like I said, I work. I have a real job, so I work. So I don't have time to do all that. But I'm gonna share some of the things I learned over time, some of my pitfalls, some of the things I learned about sometimes being greedy, sometimes being too anxious to sell something, but growing up in the inner city and military and all stuff like that, you build wealth over time. You take your time, you buy some things, you hold it. Sometimes it might not be the right price you want to be, but you just eventually hold it. It's just a supplement your income. It's not going to make you wealthy over time. Some people do strike it rich. Like I said, some things do happen. Not saying it doesn't happen, but sometimes do, but it's too far in between that those things do happen. On the average, you're not going to be rich. You're going to have some means of income, some ways to supplement your income, but keep your job. If you're lucky enough to have a job, like I said, this is a pandemic. A lot of people getting laid off, and a lot of people are stressed out there, and they're looking at, ways to kind of help themselves. So they look at these channels here, and some of these people are telling these outrageous things, and they believe it because this is their lifeline. Because it's one thing with me being a firefighter and medic, our job is, we have job security. That's why we're truly blessed. But a lot of industries aren't. You have a job today and lose it tomorrow. Now you got to figure out how to feed your family. And I remember this week I saw a line at a church, which at 40 years I passed the church. I didn't know it was a church. And I saw BMWs, Mercedes, and nice SUVs in this line. I figured, okay, what's going on? I thought maybe it was a church service that was going on. And I drove past it. And then the following week I drive past the same line again. It's even longer. So they shut down one lane. And I finally get out, slow down enough to figure out what's going on. And I said, oh, it's a church. And they had boxes of food that were giving away to the people. And these people had expensive vehicles, and you would think they wouldn't have to go. But there are a lot of people struggling out here. And if you're lucky to have a job, keep your job. If you can afford to put a little bit of money in the stock market, do it. If you can't, just don't do it. Save your pennies, save your nickels when you go to the store and you break $1. Sometimes they want you to put it in that little can, or sometimes they act like they forget to give you a change. Like, look, I want my change back. So you're not rich. I would like to put it in that can, but I can't afford it. Take it home, put it in your own coffee can, and build it up. Sometimes you can get the little change counters from the bank instead of going to the little Coinstar machines, which charge, I think, the 10 cent or 12 cent on $1, depending on what store you go to. But you take it to the bank, get that money. But if you can't do that, if you're in a rush, take that money to the Coinstar because it's quick and fast. And I know Walmart has them. Wegmans has them. A lot of the local like Food Line, those places have those machines. If you gotta do it, do what you gotta do. So I create a channel. Do what you gotta do. Some people go for Wall Street because they have some excess money. Some people don't have that right now. It's just a viable option. Don't quit your job. If you don't have a job right now, work hard as you can to try to find something that's decent enough just for the meantime. If you got to work at Walmart, if you got to work at McDonald's, Wendy's, or wherever it is, you do what you got to do to feed your family. And when you get to a point where you do have some excess money, then you can go into Wall Street and dibble and dabble a little bit to get your feet wet. But until that time, take care of your family. So this is the end of this week's episode of Wall Street, the New Hustle. And I appreciate you guys' time. So like I said, we're going to make some more videos of this. Thank you. Y'all be safe out there. Wear your mask.